Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Man, We're Too Old for This, here on the Nerd Eternal Network. You'll notice this week we're doing things a little differently, as we are recording together, separately in our own houses. For reasons that, we can't specifically name without being demonetized.
We are socially distant.
But, I'm your host today, the experience that some call Jason, and with me as usual is...
Coming to you live from his exercise bike in his gazebo, the Todd Father.
And
the token chip tooth gap Tarky.
And joining us as a special guest today is...
Coming to you from the Hall of Justice is Tony the Hitman Horton.
Pretty sure it's just his apartment, but okay.
There can be justice in apartments.
Oh, that's true.
That's true. Not a day ago.
I can do justice from socially distant, from 6 feet away.
Any and everybody that's known me that's ever came to the apartment knows that these are the halls of justice. Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to be discussing a few new books getting ready to come out. 2 of them from Marvel and 1 from DC. So we will start off with Marvel's The New Warriors. Who wants to start off our conversation?
I'll jump. Well,
no,
okay.
I will start, for it is a dirty trash can full of poop.
Okay.
Can we quote you on that?
Yes, you can quote me that it is indeed a dirty trash can full of...
All right, so before you get started, let's lay some groundwork first. The New Warriors were revolutionary when they debuted, because when they debuted at the time frame, they had representation for pretty much any and everybody that you can think of at that particular point in time, which is why they're using that namesake in order to reintroduce a new team, which to me is like slapping the original team in the face and saying that, hey, you guys aren't the New Warriors, we are the New Warriors. So with that being said...
Well, it's not the first time they've done that. That reality show version of the team was some crap, too.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where at that particular point in time when they're trying to reintroduce a team for that sake, at that particular point in time, reality TV was booming. It was on the cusp of everything. You couldn't turn a TV on without seeing something that's dealing with reality being, broadcasted.
And they were definitely jumping on the bandwagon there.
Yeah, but for all intents and purposes, the New Warriors came along right at the cusp when comics needed something that was revolutionary, and it wasn't done before. You had all these different characters from all different walks of life.
You mean like
and
the
they had
Avengers?
But they had representation that, people could relate to.
Sure is, though. That wasn't new, because for the 90s, hell, you had the Avengers. The Avengers had black members, women members, Asian members.
Yeah, but
that wasn't new.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
X-Men
is...
have been like that. That wasn't new. It was just a new team.
What I'm saying is it was a new team for a new generation. If you look at all those teams that you just named, look at the generation gaps between those. You go, we're old school, so we grew up with the Avengers. And then that gen next was the X-Men, and we grew up with them too. So we were fortunate enough that we had both of those generations of those representations of characters that we grew up in that time frame. But New Warriors, when that came about, that was for like the MTV generation, basically. The teenagers that had chips on their shoulders. They didn't quite fit in anywhere. Avengers didn't want them. X-Men didn't want them, so they started their own stuff.
Yeah, that I'll give you this.
Well, Night Thrasher was pretty much just wanting his own team from jump.
Well, yeah.
And Rage had been kicked out of there.
Right. Well, and the team was around a while before they got Rage.
Yeah.
True.
That is true.
But like
Yeah.
I said, it was the MTV generation, the attitude generation, the teenage angst generation. So
Generation X.
yes. So
Yeah,
with
the
that
original New
being
Warriors was a
said,
very Generation X team. I'll definitely give you that.
so with that being said, going forward, knowing the history behind the name of that team and what the representation was to where it is today. Boom.
Yeah, but let's be honest though, just from jump. Outside of that original run with Nice Caesar and Bagley, the Warriors ain't been crap since. Because when they, just like Jason was talking about, that the reality show version where you had lames like Debris and Micro, I mean that was lame as hell. The power set was just sucked.
And the
What do
version,
you do? I got control over trash, or I can talk to Micro. Woo-hoo.
and the trick is, even the version before that wasn't all that interesting. You had Aegis, who was, wasn't a bad character particularly. He was just kind of generic. You had that was it Bolt, the electric powered mutant with the legacy virus that had popped up in like one X-Men annual prior to this.
Yep. Yeah.
So after the initial '90s run, they never captured that magic again.
Yeah, because then you have, wasn't that a New Warriors team where you had like depowered Jubilee and depowered folks where they were in like the kind of mech suits that gave them fake different powers and crap?
I had forgotten about that team. So truthfully,
that was New Warriors too.
Truthfully,
because you had Night Thrasher's brother was running it.
Yeah, you had
Taylor was running it.
The '90s team was kind of your gold standard, and then it has literally been further and further downhill every time they've redone something with the team.
Yep,
that's because
straight to the toilet.
That's because those characters are considered products of their environment, and they don't have anything pressing in their environment like they do right now. So all the other runs from that point up until what we're getting right now, none of that stuff was prevalent. So that's why it failed.
Well, no, it failed because for the same reason this one's failing. When it all boils down to, it's a dull power set. When you go from the originals in the first issue, going toe to toe with Terax the Tamer, to motherfuckers that got a force field that only works if he's protecting somebody, that's lame. When you have, my superpower is, I can control small pieces of trash, that's lame.
Well, this is the thing.
That's lame. Nobody wants to read that shit. This
is the thing, though, what it all boils down to. The original run of those characters were cool characters, with cool power sets, and great representation. The characters that we got right now that they're trying to do is an agenda that they're trying to push. So they're pushing their agenda first, and they don't give a rat's ass about the power set. They can care less as long as their message that they're trying to push comes across.
It's not about giving you a good story that might have a message in it. It's just about preaching to you and making you pay for it.
That's correct. That is correct. Well, they're not putting forth any effort in helping to develop those characters like they did back in the day.
Well, let's speak specifically of the characters because
Hold on, I'd like to jump on in a moment.
Absolutely.
Of course, they haven't been able to develop the characters. This comic hasn't come out yet.
Yes, of this current.
We're not talking about the current situation. We're talking about the previous situation. So we're laying the groundwork before we go into the discussion of that.
Yeah, they did not do much with those previous versions we were talking about.
No.
The reality show version, their whole purpose was to die.
Yeah.
They got blown up in Stanford. That was it.
But let's move on to this. Yeah. Let's move on to this current team. That this book has not come out yet, so But so the team consists of Snowflake and Safe Space. And let's see. I believe Snowflake is the one that generates basically snowflake shaped ice shuriken. And that's, as far as I know, power-wise.
Well,
Safe,
this is
Now-
Safe
this
Space
is what
does.
you,
Hold on, Tony. Let's introduce everybody first.
Safe Space does force shield that can only protect other people, I believe.
Right.
Now, does it only protect other people, or can he only generate it when he's protecting other people?
That's the way it's explained. He can only generate it protecting somebody else.
Okay. So if he happened to be standing next to that person, they'd both probably be protected, but...
Right.
Okay.
But if
I don't know.
he's on his own,
It
he's
specifically says, but he cannot inhabit them himself.
Oh,
oh,
no.
well then, damn.
Alright, and then we've got... let's see...
Screen time.
Actually, I was clicking over to, oh crap, the Dora the Explorer knockoff.
Trailblazer.
Trailblazer. And her magic backpack, tech backpack, I don't know what's...
It says,
It's magic. It's magic.
It says, well, she's got quotations around magic backpack.
Okay. So she may not even know how it works.
Well, the quote from Kibblesmith was, "It's basically a powered by God, but not the one that you're thinking of." That's a quote.
what?
Powered by God, just not the one you're thinking of.
There is only one God, so I'm trying to figure this
I mean,
out,
it's
bro.
Marvel Comics.
Yeah,
There's
well,
thousands.
It's Marvel
of gods.
Comics. There's
Yeah,
thousands
yeah.
of gods. It's
Yeah,
just
but
whichever
not the
one.
one.
I mean, hell, there's Thor right over there fixing up somebody's house. Real nice
Yeah.
of him. Great God, that guy.
There's Hercules over there drinking heavy,
Mediocre
Yeah,
guy.
Those are but
They're gods. They're gods
Yeah,
in Marvel.
in DC,
And
in
that's
Marvel,
their whole, And their whole thing is, when he said that was his little dig at Christianity. But the trick is, I'm a comic nerd. Do you know which god I'm thinking of? It's not powered by the one you're thinking of. So Bast has nothing to do with it.
So it's not Odin.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I believe she, like Dora the Explorer, just pulls whatever she needs out of the
Yes.
bag.
She's Presto. She's Presto from the old D&D cartoon.
Me, you, Danny, if he was here, and Tony recognize that reference.
yes.
For anybody Taylor's age or younger, they're not really going to get that reference. They get the Dora the Explorer reference. And given
So
her
what you're gonna
name,
have-
I don't think they're even trying to hide the fact that it's just Dora.
Yeah, his door.
And see-
she ate a little much. Still
But
ain't.
see-
Yeah. Go ahead.
And see, that lets you know the amount of effort that they put in creativity wise in developing these characters. There was like they took a spaghetti noodle and threw it on the wall and see which one was going to stick, and this is what they came up with. Because at the end of the day,
Oh hell,
it's
it's got
it's just
100.
that-
It's got 180 thousand dislikes. It ain't sticking. They didn't care. They
It's
didn't give
just-
a damn.
Okay, speaking of
caused-
creativity, let's move on to B negative. A generic vampire, except I believe he feeds through his hands.
Yeah, he's got
Morbius
the Morbius
knockoff.
He's got the Morbius from the Spider-Man cartoon
no.
in hand.
He's not even a knockoff Morbius. He's just a lesser Morbius. He's literally a kid that got some Morbius blood in him.
Oh, is that his origin?
Yeah.
Exposed to Michael Morbius's blood as a child in
That'd
a
do it.
rogue but life-saving medical procedure.
That would do it.
Which, granted, we've had a ton of those. We've had that, that's a fairly reasonable explanation in Marvel Comics of somebody getting powers.
Yeah. It's,
Sure.
We're
happens.
we're
But
just
see,
commenting on the
there
lack of
again-
creativity with it.
But it's just
there
like
again,
such a
there's no-
retroactive history.
yeah. And there again, there's no originality. They Marvel goes again and makes another carbon copy of an original character
Yeah.
and
Them
try to
NDCs
pass it
are
off
out
as
there.
something that's new.
He is just a generic goth vampire.
Yeah, he's just a vampire. Yeah, he's just a teenage vampire.
Look, all the hip
And
kids are into
he's
goth vampires. At least
It
they
just
were when I was
bothers
a
me
kid,
'cause, why
30
does
years ago.
every vampire gotta be goth? Like,
But yeah, he's he's a thing. Kind of looks like Hordak.
But now for their
Pièce de résistance.
yes, for the originality, we have what's his name? Screen Time.
Screen time. Yep.
Screen Time's ability is to access the internet with his brain, thanks to
His grandfather's experimental internet gas.
nobody knows what internet
What?
gas is, and none of us really want to know.
But you know what?
That's his origin.
Hey, the original Flash got super speed from heavy water experimentation and lightning.
That was in the 40s.
Yeah.
When at the same time, over at Timely Comics, which would be Marvel, the Wizard got his super speed by getting a blood infusion from a mongoose.
Mongoose. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
I'm just saying, in general, not the most ridiculous thing, but it's up there. It sounds ridiculous, but I'm fine with ridiculous in comics.
It's more ridiculous now because people know how that stuff works now.
Yeah,
where the readers at the time of Jay Garrick didn't know what hard water was anyway.
Well, experimental internet gas might be nanomachines. You don't know. Because it's another one of those things in quotation marks.
It's still one of those kind of things where I just see his grandfather going, "Hey, come here and pull my finger."
You have superpowers.
Also,
what's my superpower?
Time out.
You can do what this cell phone does.
Also, just to time out, his grandfather. Like, that's distant enough. The internet just got started. And the dude's already making internet gases.
Well, let's see. If he's 16...
the way things are these days, I got this is a whole hell of a lot of my classmates and grandfather. Multiple times over. Truthfully.
Well, I'm just saying,
so you can be early 40s and a grandfather.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, bare minimum, toss it 36 years back. The internet's there, but it's
just
not
big.
big.
Well, apparently, that man was a genius because he made it in gaseous form. I took this internet, I took the cloud, and I condensed it down into a gas, and, breathe this.
Wouldn't that be great if he could only access the internet as it was 30 years ago?
Oh boy.
Where all you can hear is the dial-up.
He's not actually accessing the internet, just like a snapshot of the internet from that time period.
No, that ain't right, because I'm pretty sure he's got, the whole point to him is he's got the power of Google. At least that's the way he talked about him. Like,
now he can see augmented reality and real-time maps and instantly Google any fact.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You know what would make him interesting though? If he was wrong about 30% of the time.
Oh, that's probably going to be a running gag.
Oh no. What you need is his descent into villainy as being constantly on the internet eventually makes him a Nazi.
Like AI?
Like all the AIs that you put on the internet.
Yes.
Or somebody writes an algorithm and send him a virus to him, and it winds up infecting him and making him think that he's African American or Caucasian.
No. It's the phalanx. He gets a virus that starts turning him into the phalanx. Then he's got a decent power set.
That's fucked up. You know what makes him
still
great?
like the
If he got
virus.
taken over by the phalanx.
I still think it would be fun if he got a virus and somebody put that virus in him to make him think that he was one race of people and he really wasn't.
Yeah.
In this team,
he can always look at himself.
I see a big problem with this guy.
If it's an algorithm, it's not going to matter.
What was that, Tarky?
I see a big problem that the writer's probably going to run into with him is treat him like a MacGyver character when he can't be that. Like, he's going to be the kind of genius that, like, kind of cobbles together a machine to do something, except that his power works in reverse of that.
It had to be something somebody else had already built that he would just copy.
He would have to know what it was, search for it, and see if the parts were there, rather than see the parts and know what to build from the parts.
Yep.
But the writer's probably going to just make him a MacGyver style, even though it doesn't fit. Just because, like, what else do you do with him? Other than, like,
you've already made this book cooler.
Well, like, he'd know the weak points of supervillains based on, general information like that will get put on the internet of, like, the mole man has a bad left hip kind of deal.
Well, as old as he'd have to be by now, it's probably just one of his hips.
He'd have information like that, and if he could project the augmented reality to other people, then they could, aim up for specific locations, and, he could be the teamwork guy.
Yeah.
I can see that. but
The
I
trick
just
is
don't
who would hit
feel
it.
like he's gonna get. Wait, what?
The trick is who would hit it. Okay, they're fighting. Who's somebody big? They're fighting one of the wrecking crew. They're fighting the wrecker. Okay, the wrecker's got a bad left knee. Who the hell they got on the team that can hit it?
It depends on how powerful a vampire is, and if safe spaces shields, can move on your body. Like, imagine you're going for a punch, and then suddenly there's a force field on your punch. It depends on how the force field works with safe space to how powerful, say, B negative is.
Yeah, B negative will probably wind up being the brick of the team.
The hitter.
Yeah.
You almost have to.
The problem is too many of these characters are
support.
Either cobble something together support, or I'll pull something out of a magic backpack MacGuffin.
Yeah.
And
I imagine Snowflake will be kind of your scrapper type. I'm imagining they'll be kind of super dexterous. No, not necessarily a power, but be one of those kind of super ninja girls, as my dad would call them.
Yep, you called a girl, not a girl.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Snowflake is going to be non-binary. Was it just them, or was it also safe space?
It's just Snowflake as far as.
Okay. Which, and that's one of the things you hear about this team, the first thing they talk about. Which I guess is letting you know what the message is going to be.
It uses the male pronoun for safe space a lot, so.
Okay.
This is my thing.
Okay.
What's the what is the real purpose for them? Because their power sets are lame. If you didn't take any time to develop a decent power set for a character that you're introducing into a new book, what's the purpose of that character? Well, I mean, I don't understand, because
it's the diversity
cookie. They don't care about the power set. All they care about is the agenda that they're trying to push.
And that's going to be where it fails.
Because the trick is, and this is something that Jason knows, I've talked to him about it all the time, it's what they do to black characters too. They don't give a shit. The power set's lame as hell. It's a concept that you don't really want to read, but they want the cookie for saying they did it. They don't give a damn about the quality of it. When I was talking about this online, two of my favorite DC characters are Midnighter and Apollo. And the first time you see Midnighter and Apollo in a Stormwatch book, you're pretty sure they just got done. They're both naked. Apollo's in bed. Midnighter's butt naked looking out the window. You know they're a couple from jump. But they badasses. Apollo, less so because he's just kind of a light Superman knockoff. But hell, Midnighter's one of the roughest damn super soldiers in comics. The sumbitch is cool. Gabe was just what he was. But he was cool. This shit is they're not worried about whether it's cool or not. They just want the cookie for having.
Well, one big difference with Apollo and Midnighter was you were getting a good story.
Right.
Correct.
You had Warren Ellis create two badass characters
that just happen to be gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They were gay.
Well,
that wasn't the agenda that they were pushing. They were just pushing two new badass characters.
He was not looking for a cookie. Apollo and Midnighter didn't make the news.
What you saying, Turkey?
Just looking at this, like, I'm going to scribble safe space out because, safe space is a fairly lame power set to me. Snowflake, as far as just shooting ice projectiles, you can develop that into something better.
Yeah.
Snowflake can be a cool character. It just depends on whether or not the powers are allowed to develop, or if they are that, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. But at the end of the day, that's not, for all intents and purposes, what those characters were created for. Those characters were created to push an agenda.
And you can tell that by the way they talk about it.
Hence that's why their power sets are so lame. There was no effort put into developing their power sets.
Now, a writer could take them and go somewhere with them. I don't think their creator is going to, but a future writer could potentially run with it. You've got plenty of characters in Marvel and DC that started off a lot more limited than they are today.
I mean, if you want, go back, some early X-Men stuff with Angel. He's got wings. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That was it for a little while.
Yeah, but they realized that character was lame.
Yeah. But that's where I look at Snowflake and go, I can see Snowflake developing into something cooler.
You can see a seed there that you could take and do something with.
Yeah, I could see her developing projectiles out of her feet and launching them to project herself into a combat.
Mm.
I can see her developing with this power set. Mostly because I've, watched the show Ruby and I know what someone can do with magical snowflake platforms.
You called her, she's not a her.
Non-binary.
What they can do.
Them.
Yep. What they can do.
It's what they can do. Are they okay? Have they eaten today? It's just they.
Okay, well, I'm sure we could keep going on about these. We've already spent 20-something minutes on the New Warriors.
All right, but first off,
jump to Gotham High?
Let me hit Trailblazer just real quick.
Oh yes,
I just hate characters that have the MacGuffin bag. I just don't like it when the answer can just pop out of here at any second if you'd like it to.
That was a problem our dad had with the Fantastic Four for a while, was the fact that anytime they got in a pinch, Mr. Fantastic would just invent something and solve it.
Yeah, it's just...
Yes, the Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah.
And it's, and that's another sort of lazy writer character. Because it opens up their ability to do that.
Do you want to skip Children of the Atom since really know less about that one and just go straight to Gotham High?
Okay, yeah, let's jump over to Gotham High then. So leaving poor Marvel alone for a little bit, let's jump over to DC.
Who said, "Hold my beer"?
Where they have let's see, what was the writer's name? Melissa De La Cruz?
Melissa De La Cruz.
Who I believe was already an author. I'm not familiar with her work, but
I think she did some TV.
But
I think.
But apparently DC went to her and asked her, "Who would you like to write?" And she went, "Batman." Not because she's a Batman fan, but because her husband, boyfriend, whatever it was.
Her husband likes
Melissa
Batman.
De La Cruz has written 45 books.
I was thinking she was a young adult author. I was thinking.
Yeah, she's written a lot of books.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's one thing to write a lot of books, but it's one thing to write a lot of books of quality.
Well, if she's writing for young adults, all our asses are too old to really judge.
Yeah.
We are not the target audience for her novels.
We are literally too old for.
So anyway, the premise of Gotham High, for anybody listening that has not run across it yet, it is Bruce Wayne in basically a high school drama.
Yep.
But she's taking a lot of liberties with the characters.
Yeah, she referred to it as Batman meets Gossip Girl meets Crazy Rich Asians.
So Bruce Wayne is Chinese American. Selena Kyle is biracial. And they are in a love triangle with the Joker.
I thought she was just Latina.
Maybe so. Let me.
Yeah, I think she's Latina.
Okay, my bad. My mistake.
You already done lost me.
You suck. You're racist, istophobe, and you should be purged.
Let's see.
Well, this is the thing. That's
I'm not done with the bad news yet. Thomas Wayne is a deadbeat. It's Martha that's actually rich, and Alfred is his gay uncle that's just moved back to town.
Yep.
Okay.
Ta-da!
So, for all intents purposes, why would you take characters that are already established in a universe with rich story from years and years and years of writers and artists collaborating and coming up with something? Do you take existing characters, bastardize them again to try to push some kind of political agenda? What kind of message are you trying to send?
Well, I don't know about political agendas.
I don't know how political that one is.
This,
well, not even just
it's
that.
her writing a young adult romance novel as a comic, and that's not going to sell in comics. So you slap Batman, you slap some Batman names on it, and maybe somebody will buy it. They won't, but that's what they're thinking.
Well, that's the thing. It's names. Again, it's names. It's not the core of those characters. Mm-hmm. If Bruce was an amalgam of Bruce in this storyline, he should have been an amalgam of Bruce in the traditional storyline. Bruce Wayne was a Caucasian individual.
The trick is you have to look at the interview that the young lady gave. She flat out said, "I'm making him like me. I understand," because she's half Chinese. She understands half Chinese. She didn't understand Bruce Wayne. So what she did was she said what a lot of comic writers do these days is they go, "How can I make this person me? Because I understand me." They don't really have an interest in writing the character as they exist. They are trying to write themselves as the character. And that's what that's literally what she confesses to do. She's confessing to doing it.
That's what I have a problem with. Then don't mess with history. Make history. Create your own character.
Hold on. Time out. She didn't walk up to DC and go, "Hey, I'd like to do Batman." DC walked up to her and said, "Would you like to do Hero?" And she went, "Well, my husband's favorite is Batman. I'll do Batman."
Now, also let's point out with this one, unlike New Warriors, this one is not recreating the canon for the actual Batman book. This is all its alternate something. It's its own little Elseworld.
Yeah, it's Elseworld.
So in that regard, it bothers me less than New Warriors. It's it's a waste of time. It's going to fail.
And that's another thing that grabs me right there. I'm waiting for the day when an actual creative team comes along and eliminates this multiverse shit. I am done with 18 different variations of Batman. I am done with 18 different variations of Superman. I am done with 18 variations of the Flash. And
you've had that if not from the 40s, at least from the 60s. It's probably not going anywhere anytime soon.
And when they got rid of it, they hurried up, brought it back.
It needs to be done. It needs to be dealt with, and that seems to be their go-to thing. Is we're not going to mess with the current timeline. We're just going to tell you an Elseworld story.
So what you're saying is you would rather them do Gotham High and retroactively make it what Batman has always been. You'd rather them actually rewrite Batman's history.
I would rather them do Gotham High and take characters that didn't get the recognition that they should have got and put them in there, like Orpheus. You could take a character that's already in existence and throw him in there and explain what put him on the path to become Orpheus.
But Orpheus, you don't need to use the Batman name to draw people in.
Yeah.
Well, it all takes place in the Batman universe.
Superman takes place in the Batman universe.
Yeah. I am going to take a page out of Jason's book and go, sweet God in heaven, I hope they don't get nowhere near these current crop of writers. I hope they don't come nowhere near Orpheus. I hope they don't come nowhere near that character.
Oh, come on. They just make Orpheus gay, or you find out he had been was a woman when he was born, or,
Yeah.
They do something around their
nowhere near Orpheus. Yeah.
That's the thing. This is a perfect time for everything to be like it is, and we're going to talk about that going after we get done with this. But I think with everything that's going on in the industry, the shutdown and all this stuff, this is a time for a lot of independent creators and writers to come up with new, fresh stuff that hasn't been in the forefront of stuff. Fresh ideas, fresh characters with new power sets, stories that people can relate to, and non-SJW crap that doesn't need to be pushed in the forefront of fiction.
There is room in comics for everybody's different politics.
For everybody.
But you've got to focus on telling a decent story so somebody actually wants to buy the crap. The comic companies have forgotten that they're a business.
That's the thing. They don't look at trying to tell a story. They look at what's hot. And they look at what's pressing. Yeah, I don't want politics.
Tony, they're not even looking for what's hot anymore. when you look at New Warriors, truthfully, when you look at the reaction to Gotham High, that is the current marketing strategy. I put out something that people go, oh my God, what is this shit? And they talk about it like we're talking about it, like people have been talking about this crap for the past 2 weeks now. That's the whole strategy. It is a strategy born of kind of poking the bear. Oh, you don't like this? Well, I poke you with it. And then when you react, the reaction is what I wanted. They want the reaction. Yeah.
Okay, then.
And the number one issues will sell because you'll have some people that go, hey, I like this. And then you'll have the majority of people picking it up going, I wonder what this train wreck gonna look like.
Okay, so with that being
said.
So it gives you
your number one.
Okay, so with that being said, who is Howard Stern?
Shock jock.
Is he still relevant? Is he still relevant?
I guess if you got serious, he is. I guess he's relevant to somebody.
He's not, because he now to the point to where he was everywhere when he was doing stuff that was controversy and was making news by doing so. But now you had to go to like a specific channel to hear that if that's something that you're interested in. He's not relevant anymore because
nobody and nothing stays at the tip top forever, Tony.
Right.
And Stern's around a damn long time.
They are not doing. Kibble Smith did not create New Warriors going, this book is going to be around 60 years from now. He didn't. There's nothing about that team that suggests that book is going to be around, hell,
this time
5 years from now. Yeah, they are doing it for the quick hit. They get the quick hit and they get the hell out. That's it.
And they wonder why the industry is where it is and when it's going the way it's going. It's like I said.
Yeah, nobody's playing the long game anymore.
Well, hold on. With New Warriors, admittedly jumping back to that, they already did that twice, showing, hey, this is something that's temporary and we just built a team on something that's hot. As far as New Warriors is concerned, yeah, that's the entirety of what the comic book has been about since Jump. Gotham High, however, is some other stuff.
Yeah.
I just rather for that. That could have been easily.
The original run of New Warriors lasted.
Yeah, it had a good long run.
It had a run, dude.
It's everything since then.
Yeah, it's the stuff since then that they lucky if they get 6 issues out of it.
Well,
Gotham High could have easily been something that could have been basically based off of support characters that had nothing to do with the mainstream storyline of characters, other than the fact that these characters that we're getting introduced to could have been extra. And
the trick is they did that, nobody would care, and nobody would be talking about it.
That's what I'm segueing to. So this is the thing. In order for you to make a name for yourself, you're going to take a character that's already in existence and write it from your perspective, so you can relate to that character. Why don't you just come up with a character that's originally created by you?
Because it's not Batman.
Because
it doesn't have to be Batman. It could be somebody. It could be
Batman. If you want somebody to pay attention to it, ask the guy that writes Midnight Tiger.
Hold on, guys.
Yeah.
Once again, she didn't go to DC. DC came to her and asked her to write a character as this kind of story.
That's still a problem with the company, though.
Right. Yeah, that's the company, not the writer.
I get that, but if you're gonna go out and pimp your characters out to people, you need to make sure that they're gonna keep the integrity of the character somewhat.
Hold on a second. Tony, you're a Spider-Man fan, right?
That is correct.
Do you remember the book Trouble?
Yeah.
Where they took Uncle Ben, Aunt May.
Mm-hmm.
They took Richard and Mary Parker, Ben and May, and basically turned Aunt May into a whore. And she was actually Peter's real mother, and all kinds of stuff. It was YA and soap opera out to be damned. Nobody went off. Nobody was horribly offended. One, because I don't think many people read the crap. But the trick is, it literally took Spider-Man's mythos and crumbled it up and threw it in the trash.
Yeah.
It was not upsetting because you had other stuff. The problem with comics right now is all the crap. 90% of this stuff sucks. and you have a dedicated marketing strategy to put this shit out there to poke the bear. It's the whole point. Gotham High doesn't offend me. You have people online go, oh my God, they made Bruce Wayne Chinese and Alfred's gay, and this is the worst damn thing since ever, and it's a love triangle with the Joker. It's real easy. I ain't reading the shit. I can sit there and look at it and go, it's kind of messed up. But I ain't going to give them money. You know, I'm not personally offended that they took Batman and made him Chinese, which is when you go online, there's a lot of people oh my God, they made him Chinese, he's supposed to be this. It's when you go read it, if you taken the main book and said this is canon, yeah, you just took a character that was 80-some years old and peed on it. Yeah, that's a problem. It's a YA book. It ain't for me. It wasn't a shot in hell that I was gonna read it. You know, I can talk about it in the thing and sit back and shake my head, but who in this group was actually ever gonna buy that book? Let's say that Alfred was straight, Bruce Wayne was white, but it's still a story of Bruce Wayne in high school. Who in the hell in here is gonna pay for that book? Who's gonna read it? Tarkin, were you gonna read it?
I get what you're saying, Todd, but you're missing my point that I'm trying to make here. If you keep letting people come in and keep throwing spaghetti at the wall to see how many fucking noodles are gonna stick, what you're gonna wind up having is the same thing that went on with the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah, and it's happened. That's the trick, Tony. Is it's already happened. This whole thing is like 5 years too late. It's the industry got a virus. It's had a virus for the past 5 years, and it's screwed up the joint. That's the level that you have creative. They are creatively dead. So that's all you good for. They are good for taking an established character and bending the hell out of it, or in the rare cases that they come up with, that they go, well, hell, I'm gonna make somebody original. You get safe space and screen time. You know, internet gas is about as good as they shoot. So, you know what I mean? It's the industry is stagnant. It's stagnant. They got nowhere to go.
And that sounds like that will segue into our next conversation really well, but we probably need to go ahead and start wrapping this one up. We've already gone just a little long. Right. So, clearly some strong feelings.
Set this joint on fire, Pookie. Burn it down.
So anyway, that's been us hashing out Gotham High and the New Warriors.
Coolest book since ever.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to buy 2 copies.
So feel free to leave comments. Tell us what your opinion is on it. You know, the 2 or 3 people
Please
that listen
like
to this.
and subscribe. You know, call Tony a horrible person, terrible human being.
He is a guest, so please direct all negatives to him.
I'm not a horrible... Look, I live and I let live. I have nothing against anybody.
But just start screwing with this Batman, and he's coming for you.
No, I mean, this is my thing. I don't go
you touch my Spider-Man and I kill you.
I don't go to Pulp Fiction to talk about political issues that's going on in the real world. I go to Pulp Fiction to escape original, or I go to Pulp Fiction to escape real issues.
I bet you go to action movies for action, too.
I don't want to go into a fictional world and deal with the fact that they're dealing with the same shit that I'm dealing with in reality.
All right.
There's a reason why they call this an escape for a reason.
Speaking of escaping, I'm going to make our escape now. I have been your host for the day, the experience of some called Jason. With me as usual,
the Todd Father, still on his bike. I'm going to cut up like a Greek god when this is over.
And?
Token has clearly been out of soda for 30 minutes.
Well, you can run it fresh now. And our special guest, Tony the Hitman Horton. Tony, thank you for joining us.
Looks like I am currently out of Knob Creek. Jarvis, could you replenish this for me, please? Thank you.
Only in this version, Jarvis is now your uncle. And we will see y'all later.
And Tony's black. And Tony's black.
I thought he was black in the original version. Have I been wrong all this time?